I'm excited, actually. I'm excited because, I don't get to talk to family on the podcast, like, at all.
I love
so,
it.
so today we're excited because you have done something incredible. In my mind, I think of our conversation as the best summer job that no one's talking about, right? Like, I didn't know when when I was going to college and thinking of summer work, there were certain things I tried, and not all of them were fun, but none of them had the results that you've been describing. And so I thought it would be great to help spread light about what someone could potentially do and how it could literally change their lives.
Yeah, I'm excited. Let's do it.
Okay, so let's start with the background. So tell me, like, when I'm thinking about what I want to do for the summer, I'm not thinking I want to, sell something, right? So what inspired you to get into this field that you're in?
Yeah. For me, I was in school, in college actually, and COVID happened. So that's kind of the start of my story is I was studying business, getting a welding certificate as well, just for fun. I like building things. And because COVID happened, all those lab classes got canceled. And so after, I lost a semester of class, I said, well, hey, let me take a year off from school and try to find something else. And so originally, actually, it was funny. I was trying to get into real estate. I wanted to
Okay.
just try something other than school. I was never super passionate about studying and doing all the schoolwork. And so going through that process, I was just living at my parents' house. I grew up in Southern California, so I was living in Riverside at the time. Door dashing, that's what I did for work. So I was literally just a food delivery driver. And I think after some time of just kind of the cycle of just working, living at home, and seeing my friends doing other things, I said, hey, like I want to go find some progress in my own life. And um, it just so happened that one of my friends had gotten hired out to go do summer sales. So he was going to go sell pest control door to door in Austin, Texas. And I had never heard about summer sales. I didn't know that pest control sales was a thing. I was kind of like, hey, like we're selling bug spray. Like, what's this about? And they told me, hey, the average first year rep earns 30 to 40K their first summer. The housing's covered during the summertime, and there's travel benefits and other opportunities. And so at first, I was a little bit reserved because I wasn't super confident that I would do well in a sales role. I'd never really seen any of my friends or other family members be have a sales role. My family was all teachers or talented in music, right? And so for me, I wasn't super confident. I think I gained a little bit of confidence after being able to actually see the sales take place. I went on a preseason trip where I watched experienced reps sell, and then I got to actually try it out. And I think that's when I kind of figured out, like, okay, this is just something that you can learn and get better at. And so went out to Austin, Texas, my first summer, and I did well, and then managed and trained reps for the next few years. And this past year, I partnered in the company, and so now I run the Salt Lake City and Austin, Texas branches. I'm one of the part owners out there. So it's definitely been an unexpected journey, but it's been awesome.
So I just want to make sure I heard you right. You said that after you went, you had a good experience. You went back, and now you're a partner.
That's correct. Yeah, which is
Okay.
I'm super
So
fortunate.
so I bet you there's someone listening to us right now who's sitting at home where you were. Maybe they're driving, Uber, DoorDash, doing something like that, interim while they're figuring out what they want to do with their life. And to think that from that point to today, maybe 3 years, 3 or 4 years later, they could be a partner making really good money. Like, that sounds like, I don't know, that sounds crazy to me. It's like the deal of a lifetime, the opportunity of a lifetime, don't you think? I mean,
Totally.
I had not heard of such opportunities, or I might have tried it myself. That's
Yes.
incredible.
Yeah. Seriously, it's
Yes.
it's definitely something that I didn't grow up hearing about it. I don't think it's really talked about. I think now in social media we'll see videos and stuff, and kind of entrepreneur accounts kind of saying, hey, like go try summer sales. Hey, you can do door to door sales and become really successful and make a lot of money in a short period of time. I know certainly it's not mainstream, and definitely 3 or 4 years ago when I was first in the space, I hadn't heard about it. So it is kind of like it's a growing market, and it's kind of at the beginning of the bubble, I'd say.
Wow. So if someone is listening now, it's not like, okay, I'm going to be honest, like as content creation goes, there's a whole lot of people doing content creation now. And because of
Right.
that, and the way that the algorithm is, it's a lot more challenging to be successful as a content creator. But what I'm hearing you say is whoever's listening to this is catching this before the bubble.
100%. 100%. Yeah, there's so much opportunity for growth, and I think what's cool is it takes hard work. Obviously content creation, really any space where you're going to be a high performer is going to take a lot of work. Like that's obvious. But that's the trade-off where, if you're willing to put in work and actually, go out and earn your keep and put in that effort, you're rewarded for it. And so not everyone's willing to do that. And because of that, it's a great opportunity for anyone who's willing to you know, put forth a good foot.
So what have you produced each summer? And doing sales, what did you earn?
Yeah. So my first summer, I sold 315K, and so that is the equivalent of I think between 120 130K in earnings. And so that's I had a really good first year. I really grinded, and obviously by the grace of God, I did well. I remember playing sports and that feeling at the end of the season, like man, I could have put in maybe more effort.
Mm-hmm.
Playing football, running track, were my sports. And so I remember my coach in track. He told me one time that stuck in my head. We were running 400, which is one lap around the track. And if you've run track or anyone listening, you ever ran a 400, is brutal. It is tiring. And what my coach told me was, whether you try hard or you don't, the 400 is still going to hurt.
Wow.
And so you might as well put in full effort while you're running it so you get the most out of it. And so that stuck with me. And so I said, hey, this summer I'm going to put everything I have into really learning how to communicate better,
Yeah.
learning how the sales process works. And because of that, it paid off, which was awesome. So that was kind of a little tangent there. But that was my first summer. Next summer, come back, I sold 375,000. And then this past summer, I sold 500K. So I made over 200 grand in just commissions,
Woo! Oh,
which was awesome.
okay. Well, all right. So I mean, so you're phenomenal, right? So you're a what's the term for it? Um, you obviously have found something that you have a gift for, and you are working hard at it. And I love what you told us about your coach and the fact that it's gonna hurt anyway, right? You're running to 400K. It's gonna hurt anyway, so you might as well give it your all. Now, how about your team? Like, what was the average rep doing? Like, I don't know, last summer.
Yeah, so the average rep on my team this past summer sold right around $280,000, which was one of the highest, if not the highest, PRAs or per rep averages nationwide in our company, in our industry. And so you break that down, and the average rep of my team earned right around six figures or $100,000, which is to me something I'm more proud of than any personal sales, just because I think that you could have all the success in the world by yourself, and it's pretty much meaningless. It's really only fun when you're surrounded by people and a team, and so seeing those guys succeed and seeing their lives impacted, is much more rewarding than anything like I could buy or have material wise.
And before I ask you any other questions, I should say this. All right, how does someone get in contact with you? Because I'm sure someone's right now scratching their head going like, oh, okay, all right, why haven't I heard of this? How do I get in contact with them?
Totally. Yeah. So a great way to contact me is my social media. So Noah.Griffiths. I could link it here. And then shieldhiring-arc.com is our landing page too. So you can find more information there and reach out. I can get in contact with you and we can chat.
Okay, so you find satisfaction in helping a team to win. So, what
Sure.
are some of the principles that you've learned that you think I don't know? Like I would imagine that what you're going through is more like personal development rather than just sales. Like it seems like you're learning a lot of life principles that will really serve you well. What's the most, or what are some of the most important lessons that you've learned?
That's a really good question because there's so many endless things I could talk about when it comes to personal development. Um, Probably a good reference would be the mission statement of our company. So our company's mission statement is we believe in propelling you to the next level of your life. And so our goal, and that's not something that I came up with, right? This is the founders of our company years ago. EcoShield, we've been around since 2007. And so Gaines, and then Doug and Greg, the CEOs, that's been their mission statement. And so really the idea behind it is, better people make better business. And so, if you are, focused on personal development and you grow because of that, you will be a better, team member. You'll be a better sales rep. You'll be better with interacting with customers, and ultimately be a better person. And so, yeah, I think that vision that they have has translated forward, and I think is one of the reasons why people speak. Whether guys work with us or have moved on to do other things, people speak really highly of our company, and I think that's why.
So it seems like you all actually care about helping the individual be their best versus just your bottom line.
100%. Yeah, there's so many things within personal development I could talk about. About accountability equals love is one of our one of our sayings, meaning that hey, if you love and care about someone, if you respect someone, you hold them accountable to the
Wow.
standards they set for themselves. And then the inverse of that is love is the willingness to be held accountable. And so, hey, if you're going to show, if I'm doing something, I said, hey, Uncle Dave, I'm doing this and that, you hold me accountable. The inverse is I'm willing to be held accountable. So it's cool because those type of tenants, obviously build trust, but they also breed growth. And since we know that progress equals happiness, if we're constantly progressing as humans, we're going to be happier. Ultimately, we'll just be more fulfilled. So it's super cool.
Mm. You know, I was. Thank you for sharing that. I was reading or listening to this book called Trillion Dollar Coach, and and I was just really getting insights, and it let me know that I'd forgotten about some important things that make a company or a team work well, and it encouraged actually empowering team members to work together on projects. And I'm curious, like, is there a favorite book that you've read that has given you some secret sauce in helping you to guide your team to success?
Yes. Books are such a huge part of progress and what we do and in development. Um, Specifically, and I have some favorite books. We could talk about books for probably hours, but my favorite book when it relates to leadership and teamwork is Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. So there's Navy SEALs, former Navy SEALs, and they now own a consulting company where they basically teach leadership within the SEALs. And so the title is basically the concept of the book, Extreme Ownership, meaning that. Obviously, you should read it, right? Whoever's listening should go and read it themselves. But extreme ownership just means that responsibility in any situation lies with the individual,
Mm,
right? So on a team, anything that happens, like if I'm the leader, anything that happens on my team that goes wrong is my fault. And
mm,
ultimately, what it does is it helps you, take ownership for what you can control. And if someone does something that isn't in line with what you wanted, well, maybe instead of blaming them, you say, hey, maybe I didn't give clear enough instructions, or maybe I didn't set good enough guidelines. And so that's just a tiny portion of what the book kind of talks about. But extreme ownership is the most impactful teamwork and leadership book I've ever read.
I can just imagine learning from the Navy SEALs. Wow. Like, okay, so it sounds to me like there's so many different good reasons why someone should get involved in this. Um, Let me ask a more global question. What's so important? Why should someone get involved with sales and communication?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think the answer is because as humans, we are communicating 100% of the time. right? So no matter what field you're in or what you're interested in going into, there's no situation where having more advanced communication skills will be bad for you, right? And so being able to understand how to read people and talk to people more confidently, speak more clearly, and then just understand how to navigate conversations, build rapport, right? Get to know someone. All those things are super important life skills, right? Even if you're not going to be a salesman, if you're going to be a doctor, or if you're going to be, working as a lawyer or an engineer, if you're applying for an engineering job and you can speak clearly, you have some sales experience, you've generated, $100,000, $200,000 of revenue for a company, and you're super confident when you speak, you're going to look so much more attractive when it comes to, the job pool of candidates. So, yeah, we're communicators by nature.
So, so let's say that someone's listening, and let's say it's a parent is listening, and they're going, okay, let me tell my child about this. Are there parameters? Is there an age range of people that you normally recommend try this out? Are you looking for, a particular avatar to come and join you as you sell things and generate wonderful revenue?
Yeah, good question. So, for starters, having graduated high school or finished high school like 18, it would say it would be a minimum age. There's really no age limit. You can be as old as I think we've had a guy in his 60s come knock doors,
Nice.
which is awesome, right? I think as far as expectation setting goes, doing direct sales and doing door-to-door sales, you're walking around talking to people, right? And so being able to be mobile and walk several miles every single day, is important. And which is, I mean, this is awesome. Obviously, just talking to people and being outside in nature is a blessing. But it obviously is also, it requires physical competence. And other than that, really just your work ethic. This job is not an hourly wage job. What we do is all commission based, and so the downside of that is there's no coasting or just showing up and being there and getting paid for that. You know, and the upside is you get paid what you're worth. And so, if you want to put in, minimal percent of effort, you might make minimal rewards. But if you put in a ton of effort, you're able to then make and get a lot of rewards out of that. So,
Okay. Well, that's a lot to consider. So you seem really at peace with this company. What's I think it's called EcoShield. Is that the name of it?
yep.
What's so special about EcoShield compared to other companies?
Good question. I think in the same, we were just talking about extreme ownership. And so the real answer is people and culture. I think that ties into leadership because the founders of our company kind of have a vision. What they care most about is, the people. If you help people, if you, the quickest way to get what you want in life is to help other people get what they want in life.
Okay.
And so, if you're helping create an environment where people are taken care of and supported, it's going to be a great environment. I think on top of that, a focus on just integrity and doing things the right way. I think a lot of times when people have bad experiences doing sales, and even some people who might even hear the word sales and immediately go, oh, like, car salesman, like, I don't really know, which is totally a normal, perception to have,
Yeah.
right? A stereotype. But I think it's just how you do the business. And we believe in just having honest, selling honestly, set customers up the right way, and that's ultimately how you build a healthy business long term. It's not just about making the sale right then and there. It's about really setting customers up for life and creating good relationships. And so that same mindset kind of applies to hiring and treating employees or sales reps well, right? If you help and create a good environment that way, I think it ultimately just fulfills itself.
So so I'm really impressed not only by what you've done personally, but the fact that you gain even it seems greater satisfaction from the fact that you've helped a team to be able to develop. And it seems like what you're suggesting is the culture was established by the leaders who started EcoShield. That what do you call it? Extreme accountability? Is that what you call it?
Extreme ownership.
Extreme ownership. Extreme ownership. And so it would seem that if someone wants to have that kind of experience, um, that this might be the perfect opportunity. So when would they need to come out to be able to come and join uh, your company and be able to work through the summer?
Good question. So we're doing interviews for the next 3 to 5 weeks.
Okay.
Yep, and they'll determine this summer season. Official season is May through August, and a lot of guys will go out, like myself, in April, just to be able to have more time to actually go sell. But yeah, summertime, super buggy, super busy, and yeah, we have a ton of fun.
Super buggy and super busy.
Yep.
I love it. Well, I thank you. Do you have anything that you want to say to that young man, let's say, who's where you were before you began this journey?
Yeah, I think if I were to say something to myself, who I knew I wanted to be successful, but I didn't necessarily know how to go about it. I think there's a lot of us who have been in that situation, or may find ourselves in that situation, or the individual who knows, hey, I want to go here, but I'm not sure how to get here. I think that for you, if I'm speaking to you, that person, or to myself, I'm going to say to myself, um, you know, go and take a summertime and go learn this skill set. I think more importantly than the skill set is go meet and connect with the people who are going to provide support around you, encourage you, and help develop you. And I know one thing: I can't promise how much you'll make or earn after one summer. I can promise one thing: you won't regret coming out for a summer, and your life will
Wow,
be impacted positively. That I can promise.
that's hot. That's hot. So, final question. This is called the Change Podcast, and I'm passionate. I'm obsessively passionate about helping people change. I'm excited. We've had 21 people join our Faith in Motion Challenge so far, with lots of testimonials. When people come on the podcast, the one question that I want everyone to answer is, how can I, or how can you, what's the best way for us to be able to change?
As individuals, as people, that's a good question. How
Because
can
it sounds to me like you were this person who was looking for something,
yeah.
but you just hadn't found it, and now you're successful. Like you're a partner. Like you've made the transformation from the cocoon out and became a butterfly. So,
Yeah.
what was the secret? How do we change?
It's a great question. Actually, now that you frame it that way, I know actually exactly what the best way to do is. Change is it can be hard. Everyone's heard that change is hard. Everyone's heard that our whole lives. And so, I guess first of all, change is as hard as you want to make it. That's the first thing, right? Perception, everyone's perception is their reality. So, change is gonna be as hard as you want to make it. But change, or progress is so much easier when you're surrounded by people focused on change and progress. There's a quote that kind of talks about we're the sum of the five closest people to us.
Okay.
And so removing yourself from your current environment and putting yourself in a new environment, whatever that looks like, whether that's coming out and doing sales, or just changing your habits back at home, and changing the environment in which you spend time in. The best way to do that is to be surrounded by people that are pushing you towards that change, and have people around you support you, because if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So find a team with whatever you do, and go far with them.
That's beautiful. I want to thank you, nephew Noah, so much for spitting game for the people here. Tell us one more time, how do we get in contact with you? What's your Instagram handle and or your website? How do we get in contact with you if we're interested in having a transformation like you've had?
Yeah, shoot me a DM. It's probably the best way to get in contact with me. Noah.Griffiths, Noah.Griffiths. Uncle Dave knows the last name well. And then if you want to check out our hiring page, Shield Hiring Arc ARK.com.
All right, wonderful. Thank you again for taking the time out to talk to our audience. And I'm looking forward to hearing stories for the people who reach out to you and they come along. And I'm hoping that you all will have an even better summer this summer than the amazing summer that you had last summer.
Thank you, sir. Man.
You're welcome. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. And I hope to hear you and see you in the next episode. Peace. Cool. Thank you, sir.